I stood just outside the room watching them closely. She was standing near Hyman. The way they connected was hard. Thomas. He gave me a quick glance, some thinginshire in his eyes, but she kept him steady with her calm, certain look. Her eyes never moved, like she was guiding him with quiet strength. Something in Sedin wanted to walk forward, to step into hut, was happening to stop. Just watching this was what he was offering, but a thought moment I knew I was ready. I wasn't just a bystander anymore. Before we get started, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support really helps us grow. Thanks for being here. Let's begin. How long have you been doing this? Jessica didn't flinch. About 6 years, maybe 7. I studied her face, trying to understand what was behind her calm look. Sat with her legs crossed, hands resting in her lap, looking relaxed and sure of herself, like she was fully in control. Are you okay being watched? Yes. Her eyes didn't move. Not really. I prefer when someone is truly paying. I let her words hang in the air between us. There was warmth in them, even if it was hidden. Have you ever worked with couples? I asked. Lots. In the end, it depends on who's in charge. I raised an eyebrow. And who is that in your view? You, she said, right away without a doubt. It's you that made Mesmel. Not a big smile, just enough. I shifted in my seat, uncrossed my legs. Mid-rest lit up a bit. I wasn't sure if I meant for that to happen. She noticed. Said nothing. I waited. What if I just to watch? I asked. I'll make sure you didn't miss a thing. She replied. That hit deeper than I expected. I took a breath. Me name is Daniel Moore. Every move I made felt smooth on purpose. My heels made a soft sound on the wood floor. As I walked over to my bag, I pulled out the envelope we had talked about and turned it back to her. I held it out. Jessica took it with one hand, her eyes still lock it on mine. I'll text you the time to be there, it told her. She nodded, her eyes bright with excitement. They left soon after. No rush, no goodbye, just one last look over her shoulder, longer than it needed to be. That night I was in bed next to my husband, Ryan. His body pressed close, steady, familiar. Like who moved in the same rhythm. He pulled me closer, and I led him with every breath. A very careful move. Beneath him my back arced, naturally chasing the moment. He was working so hard to give me. His lips touched my neck, and I let out a soft moan. One hand in his hair, the other on his chest, feeling the strength in every motion. He gave it his all, and I gave back just as much. A sharp gasp escapade when the tension broke, sudden, strong of everything. All at once, he followed right behind with a quiet sigh. I sank into the bed, feeling the warmth still lingering. We weed us. We didn't move, just lay there while our breathing slowly calmed. Their room was quiet and still. It was amazing, he said. Finally, it truly was. I whispered back. So good. Hurd turned his head, still catching his breath. Was that my early birthday gift? Asked with a grin. I kissed his shoulder gently. I planned something even better for tomorrow, I told him. The next evening came faster than I expected. Soft golden light stretched across the wooden floor, warm and gentle. Jessica was already there, relaxing on the couch, legs crossed neatly, looking peaceful and calm. She seemed complete, a lie at ease, like she belonged there. Her eyes moved toward the front door. Where is he? Still at work, I answered. He should be home any minute. She tilted her head slightly. Did you tell him? I shook mine. Not yet. Has been wondering all day. I see. A small, knowing smile played on her lips, leaned back comfortably, arms resting in the cushions, like she'd done it before. Do you really think he'll go for it? She asked. I don't think, I replied. I know. The room settled into a quiet stillness. It wasn't awkward, just calm and waiting. She didn't ask anything else. She just watched the light move slowly across the floor until Stefan's sound of keys broke the silence. Seth's door creaked open. He walked in with a casual stride, a bag over his shoulder. His tie was loose, no jacket. His eyes landed on her. Right away he stopped it still. Then he glanced at me quickly. Bear, looking back at her. Is this real? He asked. I gave a small nod. She's the surprise I told you about. I sighed. He blinked slowly. Are you serious? Yes, completely, I said. Jessica stood up gracefully, calm but sure of herself. She walked toward him and stopped just in front of him. Her steps were slow but with purpose. He looked at Amagoni, nodded once more. It's okay, I said. She's here for you. She reached up and gently touched his face, calm and steady. Thin. In that quiet moment she leaned in, her lips met his in a slow, silent kiss. It wasn't rushed, just soft, clear and full of meaning. When they pulled it apart, he didn't move. He just stood there, still breathing. Harini stepped closer and gently took his hand. As I led them both toward the bedroom, I leaned in and said quietly, "Is this for you a moment to slow down, enjoy it." The bedroom felt warmer than usual, almost like it held a secret. I sat down on the couch across from the bed, calm and focused, my legs crossed, watching closely, waiting. Since we got there, I hadn't said much, just enough to guide them in, to remind him gently this was still his experience and mine too, just in a different way. Now she stood right next to him, barely any space between them. Her hands moved to the front of his pants, slow and confident. Everything she did was smooth and sereno. hesitation at all for a second. She looked into his eyes. That quiet look grounded him, said more than words could have turned his eyes to me. There were no words, but I could feel his question in the air. He needed a sign. One more time he gave a slow, certain nod. That was all. Hamidage motioned for him to sit at the edge of the bed, then moved beside him. Kalman sure her hand moved across his leg. Sauce. She leaned in. He let out a shaky breath, gripped the blanket, and leaned his head back with his eyes shut. Any nerves he had were gone. She didn't rush every move. Was thoughtful. She paid attention to his breathing, responding to even the smallest change in him. A rhythm started to form, steady, focused. It held him in place, kept him present. I watched, holding my breath for a second. I shifted slightly, adjusting myself. A slow tension built inside me, gentle but strong. I didn't fight it. I just let it settle inside, steadying myself as the feeling grew stronger. Then, after a small pause, stood up, her hand slid up his chest as she rose, then moved to the buttons of his shirt. She opened each one with ease, like she'd done this before. Little by little, his clothes came off, and his chest moved with each breath under the warm light in the room. Finally, it was her turn. She undressed it smoothly and confidently. Her movements weren't loud or showy, but they held quiet strength. Layer by layer, everything slipped away until there was nothing left. Then she gently guided him back onto the bed and moved over him, calm and in control. Didn't pull away. She adjusted her movements to match the rhythm of his breathing, slow and steady. Everything she did showed care and confidence, grounding them both in the mind. She stayed focused, never breaking eye contact with him, his hands rested gently at her waist, his head tilted back, his breathing deeper now, their bodies slowly moving as one. A soft sound escaped me, quiet, unplanned. My hand stayed beneath my dress, still but present. I wasn't separate from what was happening. I felt everything. A fire was growing inside me, a warmth under my skin, a deep need sparked by every glance. Andriak Shenjis, watching, wasn't enough anymore. That feeling was building, getting stronger. I pressed my knees together, my breath quickening. She leaned forward, using his chest for support. A deep sound came from him, full and raw. That was my moment. I rose from the couch, slow and steady. My legs were slightly weak, not from nervous but from staying still too long. Step by step, I moved toward them, never taking my eyes off the two of them. I wasn't just watching anymore, I was part of this now. I paused at the side of Thebe, my heart steadied. She looked down from where she was, above him still, calm and elegant, but her eyes softened when they met mine. Without a word, she gently stepped away from him. She knew I needed this moment. I walked forward with purpose as she met him. Her fingers brushed my arms, then trailed gently down my sides. I leaned in and kissed her, bold, clear, with a folding back. There was a warmth around us, now a quiet knowing, a bond already. She kissed me back fully, her body resting easily against mine. Together we turned to face him. He sat at the edge of the bed, chest rising with each breath. His eyes were wide, following every move, barely even breathing. We both knelt in front of him. She was on one side, I was on the other. Our fingers touched briefly, then moved together, taking turns, joining in rhythm. No words needed. My lips moved across his skin slowly and gently, while hers moved in smooth patterns of their own. When he paused, she leaned in. When she moved back, I took my place again, his muscles tensed, his legs planted firmly, one hand gripped blanket, the other curled tightly at his side. He was fully alive under our touch's energy pulsing his body. Red yawned. We moved as one together, fluid like who had done this before. She finally stood and reached for me. I tucked her hand, and she helped me Risathon. Slowly, she began to undress me, one strap at a time, each piece of clothing falling gently to the floor. She wasn't in a rush. Every move was calm and focused. When I stood bare before her, she kissed me again, slower this time, deeper. It was a kiss that said everything without words. I stepped back toward Thebe, her eyes never leaving me. When I reached it, I lay down. My heart was steady but full of life. She hugged me, her eyes locked on mine. It seems you couldn't stay just a watcher, could you? She said. I smiled and whispered, I just wanted a closer view. She leaned in again. There was trust now, unspoken but sure. Every move she made was full of meaning. I let my head fall back as her rhythm picked up slower, intentionally reached for the sheets, gripping themas. The feeling inside me grew warm and steady like a wave. Then he appeared. Anhane climbed onto the bed behind her, his movements calm and careful. His hands found her waist, and together they started to move as one. The rhythm started soft, then grew stronger. I felt every shift in how he touched her because she passed that feeling through to me. Her focus deepened, her breath brushed softly against my skin, her body flowed perfectly with his, and then I felt it rush into me, powerful constraints. The tension inside me surged, me body moved on its own. My legs pulled close, I gripped the sheets tighter and tighter, and when it came fast. Complete a wave. I couldn't hold back. A gasp left my lips, my whole body shook beneath her, and still she stayed with me through it all. When I finally began to settle, she lifted her ice behind her. His breathing was uneven, his movements no longer smooth, his near rising fast. Then at last he leaned forward, resting his forehead gently on her shoulder, his whole body softened, slid aside with grace. He moved toward me, his breath catching and hissed. Then he lay beside me, sinking into his pillow, and his hand found mine, our fingers locking quietly together. I gave his hand a soft squeeze. He leaned in and kissed me, gentle, lasting. I smiled, still trying to catch my breath, and whispered, "Happy birthday. I hope this moment stays with you now. Tell me, if this was your gift, would you accept it? Or turn it down? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below, and before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching. Until next time.